In this video, we are going to talk about taxable bonds versus tax-exempt bonds. The idea is to compare them after taxes are paid to see which one gives a better yield. In this example, we have taxable bonds with a 5% rate and municipal bonds, which are tax-exempt, with a 4% rate. On the surface, it looks like this one is given a higher yield than this one. So you will think that is an easy choice. However, because you pay taxes here, not here, this may or may not be the same depending on your tax bracket. So this table is an example of a few different tax brackets and what the yield would look like. And we're going to be applying this formula to do the comparison. So let's say that taxes are 0% or you are at the 0% tax bracket for some reason. So what we do is we use Excel to apply this side of the formula to the taxable bond. So you have here the equal sign to start the formula. We got C3, which is the 5% of the taxable bond. That's the rate of the taxable bond, times 1 minus the tax rate, which in this case is 0. And that means that the taxable bond is yielding 5%. So at a 0% tax rate or tax bracket, your taxable bond will still yield the same 5% because you're not paying taxes, which when you compare it to the 4% here, then it means that you're better off buying the taxable bond. And that's why, since the 5% is higher than the municipal bond, then you choose a taxable bond because you end up with a higher yield. But what happens if we apply the same formula in a 10% tax situation? We go ahead and again take the 5% of the taxable bond. We multiply times 1 minus the tax rate. And the taxable bond is effectively yielding 4.5%. Still, it's higher than the 4%, so you will choose the taxable bond. What if the tax bracket is 20%? Calculate the right side hand of the formula, and your taxable bond is now actually yielding 4% after taxes. At this point is the same, so you can call this the indifference point. So it's equal to the municipal, or muni for short. So neither is higher. So will be at the same outcome regardless of which one you buy. However, if the taxable bond is a risk-free bond, an argument could be made to go for the taxable bond if it's risk-free, because even though municipal bonds are very, very low risk, there's still some risk with it, or is a little higher, at least to say, than a risk-free rate. However, there's a conversation for a different analysis. At this point, we're just saying that the yield is the same. So there's no advantage yield-wise after taxes on either one. If you are at a 30% tax bracket, we apply the right-hand side of the formula to the taxable bond. So the bond rate is 5%, but after you pay taxes, you end up with 3.5% only. At this point, it is not worth going for the 5% of the taxable bond here. You're better off getting the tax-free bond because you end up with 4%, which is more than the 3.5%. So as you can tell, the higher the tax bracket, the more it penalizes the taxable bond to a point where you may prefer the other bond. That's it for this video. We will see you on the next one.